The online fashion retailer ASOS has a very jolly YouTube channel.
Hello.
Oh, this is Naomi Smalls with ASOS.
ASOS.
ASOS. ASOS. ASOS. I'm Dev Cameron.
I'm Emma.
My name's KJ.
I'm Patricia Allison.
I'm Uche.
I'm Asa.
I'm Shooty.
I'm Ovi.
That's very jolly, but it's not so happy at ASOS HQ, which announced the departure of its chief executive yesterday. It also said that next year its profits may fall by almost half. You might remember Richard Fletcher telling us about this yesterday morning. We had rather bought the hype that ASOS had changed the model of selling clothes, so we wondered what has gone wrong. Let's talk to retail analyst Kate Hardcastle. Good morning, Kate.
Good morning.
I think we're so used to saying the pandemic happened, it didn't seem to hit places like Boohoo and ASOS. We've talked about the decline of the high street for a long time, but online retailers have felt somehow bulletproof, that they keep growing their profits, more people buy more and more clothes. What's happened here with ASOS? Is this a blip or is this pointing to something else?
Look, ASOS were a very early adapter. It started out actually with the as seen on screen idea that people would see things on TV and films and then use them as a search facility to find items, garments of clothing that look similar. And that obviously changed its model quite considerably. So it's always kind of led the way, and it's gone through a roller coaster ride because of that. It has gone out of favour a little. It has had to find new ways to adapt and evolve its business. But in the pandemic, we know that these online retailers, similarly their competitor, Boohoo Group, did phenomenally well. The customer acquisition alone was significant. And I think one has to question, when they saw such an increase in terms of people turning to them to buy products, have they done enough to keep all of those extra customers? Because it looks already that perhaps things are on the wane. And I think there's certainly a big announcement from the group saying this is a challenge that's on the way due to supply chain issues and Brexit. But I think if you dig deeper, we've got to look at the zeitgeist of the customers that are shopping there. We've got to look at the growth of the recycle economy, with people actually reselling items within the fast fashion market and wanting to do the right thing environmentally. And also we've got to look at how young people see brands like ASOS. You know, is it possible that it's a little bit jaded in terms of perception?
When we looked at Boohoo, because Boohoo's results crop up quite a lot on this programme, we talked quite a lot about Boohoo. It felt like there's all these accusations about poor practices, fast fashion and all the downside. It felt that people weren't actually voting with their feet on this. They didn't really care when it came to buying a £6 T-shirt. Do you think there's a chance actually that we are starting to demand more, and that's going to affect these slightly cheaper brands like ASOS and Boohoo?
It's always the case in consumer research and understanding that the consumer will say the right thing, but what they do can be often different, and that's the pressure of the purse each week. But actually, when alternatives start coming out, which is this idea of recycling the clothes, reselling the clothes, creating their own marketplaces, and also there is that very different life that we're leading now in terms of actually, is the planning for the wedding or the holidays just the same? Are people actually starting to re-engineer the wardrobes a little bit differently? That the demand just might not be in the same capacity. Now, ASOS see the opportunity for growth very much internationally. I think there will be growth opportunity there. But I think Boohoo have the same challenge in that what was about fast fashion and buying just as much as possible and getting as much energy in going out as possible, consumers have changed. And I think that is down to the education of us all in terms of environment. Yeah. I think it's down to the opportunity to buy something different. And I think it's that peer pressure. It always will be peer pressure that you maybe not have to be in the next item of clothing for every single social media snap.
And just finally, it feels like these places survive the pandemic brilliantly, but may struggle in the aftermath. It is the issue of supply, the supply chains, the cost of things, the cost of energy. There's a lot of costs and difficulties on their way for business, and that's going to be as true of ASOS as almost any other. So maybe this could be a problem for retail coming down the line.
Absolutely. The strength of retail is going to be in the supplier relationships they have and how they're able to get around some of the bottlenecks and the challenges that are there. Price sensitivity is a huge issue. If you're selling to people, particularly on a value offer, and you can't get the prices through, what are you going to do? Are you going to reflect those prices to the customer, or are you going to absorb them yourself to try to keep your customers? So a lot of challenges going on for retail right now. But the more that perhaps those items out there, the more the consumers might decide to shop elsewhere, or indeed not shop at all for certain items.
Yeah, change their habits. Kate Hardcastle, great to speak to you. Thank you for joining us this morning. She is a retail analyst and is ASOS the canary in the coal mine of other problems to come for other online retailers.